Alright, animation fanatics, grab your tickets and a hot snack, cause it's time for Monkey at the Movies. Today, I'll be reviewing Wreck-It Ralph 2, also known as Ralph Breaks the Internet. You know, the first time I heard somebody use that phrase was when some overrated nobody put their ass on display, so I figured that title suited this movie well since the trailers made it look like a whole lot of ass. But, as my fans will tell you, I'm a certified ass man, so of course I couldn't help but check it out. Now, I'm not gonna have many clips to work with here since this film just came out, so I'll keep things short and sweet with 3 categories: the good, the bad, and what the fuck. The good is obvious. The golden guys and gals and everything in betweens over at Disney always crank out phenomenal visuals, and this movie is no exception. A ton of creative choices were made in terms of character design, and they walk the tightrope between style and realism very well. The most interesting aspect, though, was how each character moved. As a matter of fact, I noticed that most of the film's comedy isn't even conveyed through the dialogue this time. No, instead it's mostly wrapped up in physical gags, such as how Ralph's large, square body interacts clumsily with sleek and slender internet environments. Another fun animation choice is how internet avatars moved in a very choppy yet uniform way, which visually separated them from our main characters and supporting cast. Speaking of which, the supporting cast was solid. The adorable banter between Fix-It Felix and Calhoun made my insides feel all warm and toasty. The search engine character cracked me up with his high energy yet old-fashioned demeanor, although his design seemed a little too close to Mr. Nervous from the Mr. Men show. Yeah, and this rough and rowdy racing chick named Shank was surprisingly flat in terms of development. I mean, it's clear that they're trying to portray her as this bodacious badass, but in reality she just serves as a cardboard cutout of antiquated concepts of coolness that only serve to keep the plot moving, and once again, I'm pretty sure I've seen this design somewhere before. Equally surprising was how this hipster smurf who fell straight out of an Urban Outfitters catalog served a very important role in this movie, since she was the perfect caricature of everything wrong with internet algorithms and viral video business models. She only values people as long as they're trending, grants special privileges to anyone who's already famous, yet quickly rejects anyone who doesn't fit those molds. Her trend-hopping nature is even visually displayed in the way her outfit changed drastically between scenes. So yeah, I gotta say she was an interesting touch. The bad is, unfortunately, our 2 main characters and the plot itself, as both suffer from the same issue. They start off strong, distinct, and straightforward, but quickly melt into a mess of tropes and subtext towards the end. Ralph and Vanellope begin as 2 best friends who make irresponsible choices. The conflict starts when they have to fix one of those irresponsible choices, but that conflict is solved in the first 2/3 of the movie. So, a new problem is invented just for the 3rd act. After a shoehorned misunderstanding, Ralph suddenly becomes the ultimate progressive stereotype of male behavior, and Vanellope unintentionally triggers this change by hiding information. That's the new conflict. 2 friends turned into reluctant enemies over a minor miscommunication, which, to be fair, is a decent portrayal of a problem that plagues the internet, but a poor portrayal of the characters we've come to know. Ralph never had a problem with change in the previous film, and was, in fact, the arbiter of all the changes that took place. But in the sequel, he's suddenly a stubborn control freak simply because the plot demands it, and a few political talking points apparently need to be checked off a list somewhere. This, ultimately, muddies up the themes in the film because the message changes with each scene, which will leave you saying, what the fuck? At first, Ralph Breaks the Internet is about teamwork, but the team dissolves. Then it's about working towards a goal, but then the goal is achieved? Then it's about the dangers of dependency, but that dependency was only created by a superficial misunderstanding. Then it's about fragile masculinity, but the toxic male lead is cured by feminine values via the symbolic act of being saved by princesses and putting on a dress. Yeah, the political subtext ain't exactly subtle, Disney.
Do people assume all your problems got solved because
a big strong man showed up?
Finally, the movie seems to be about letting go, but ultimately nothing is really lost, so you're just left there sitting and wondering what the point of any of it was. After the credits have rolled, the film tells you exactly what the point was. Fucking memes. Plot-wise, Ralph Breaks the Internet goes from 100 to 0 real quick, but all its production choices culminate into a somewhat salvageable time capsule of sorts. The film touches on all the internet-based conflicts we're having in this era, but by doing so, says too much in too short of a span of time. However, those ideas are all expressed through gorgeous visuals, hilarious slapstick, and a myriad of geeky inside jokes, which overall make it a glorious train wreck to watch. This has been Brad Brachet. I'm a monkey at the movies, and I'm sure I won't get any on online backlash for making this video? No. See ya.